could not figure out my lighting. That's why I did this.
It still looks good. It looks perfect, actually.
Awesome.
Alrighty, hello, guys. What is up? Welcome and welcome back to my channel, The Tarot Magician. Renee here. As you can see, we have Miss Akasha Wolf back on our channel. Last time I had her, it was probably a little about a year ago. If you guys remember, last time we were talking about witchcraft and talking about our practices. Today we are going to be carving pumpkins. And I'm so excited. So thank you, Akasha, for agreeing to come back on the channel with me. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know if you want to say a few things, maybe reintroduce yourself for maybe some new people who have come since then. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm happy to be back. I love coming here and saying hi to everybody, and especially hanging out with you. I'm
You.
Akasha Wolf. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years teaching witchcraft. Been learning consistently along the way, and even up until this point. So I have magic and witchcraft that runs in my family, and some of the stuff I do show is family tradition or passed down from other witches in our family. But yeah, and I get anxious really easy, so sorry if I breathe heavy.
That's all right. Sometimes I talk a little too fast when I get excited, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and then not only that, like when you channel spirit or energy, it's like sometimes it can really like work up your nerves,
Yes.
depending on who it is.
Yes, you're trying to get the words from here, like, coming out your mouth, and you're like, "Okay, hold on. I need to
Yeah.
take a step back for a second to gather all the information."
Yes, exactly.
So today, you guys, we are gonna be carving some pumpkins. I've got my pumpkin here ready to go. It's so
You got
cute. You got yours ready?
My sister got it for me.
Oh, yeah, my husband got this one for me.
Yours is so ready. I didn't draw on mine yet.
I wanted to draw just so I wouldn't waste time, like, figuring
Yeah.
out what to do like I did last time, so I was like, I'm just gonna do a cute little face, nothing
Yeah.
nothing crazy, because I know, oh my gosh, I've seen these carving pumpkins, and some people really have the skills to
I
do like
know.
stuff, right?
It's crazy. And I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
But it's like literal art, and I think that's super cool. And then if you are someone who is practicing magic, when you spend time on something like this, you're putting your own energy, your own magic into it. So when you do like pumpkin carving, you could put an intention into that because for example, something you can do is while I carve this pumpkin, I'm creating protection for my home, my family, and everything. And as the pumpkin decays, that is basically like a candle. It's your sense of a candle. And when you get rid of the pumpkin, it's you releasing and finishing the spell entirely and giving it back to the earth.
Mhm.
So,
See, I love that.
ideas.
Because even before I really started practicing witchcraft and just carving pumpkins for fun, I
Hmm.
was I was like, okay, because I'm definitely the type of person to where I like to know why we do things for like a reason.
Yes,
So I always felt like there had to be some sort of intention behind doing this. And of course, like the more that I got into it, it was said too that it can, since it is Halloween night, it can help protect you from anything
hmm
that you don't want coming into your home or like any spirits that you want to keep at bay. Since, obviously Halloween night, the veil is completely open, right? So
exactly.
anything can happen. So I think, doing the research behind that too, and like you said, carving the pumpkins, you're putting your own like energy into it already. And
Hmm.
then once you leave it outside, like you said, you can set the intentions for basically whatever you want. But I feel like protection is the best thing that a pumpkin can do for you, especially with surrounding.
Absolutely. Yep.
I love it. So do you have an idea of what you want to carve?
I think I'm gonna go the traditional look almost, except for I'll go more rounded with the eyes so that way I get more of a Jack Skellington look.
Oh,
So,
smart. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Hi,
heck
Violet.
yeah.
Hi, Essence. Hi, Ocean. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I need to like look at that.
Yeah, I know. I always forget to look at the comments because I get so excited.
Hmm.
I'm at an angle to where you're not gonna actually see me like carving the pumpkin, but I'll show you guys like as the process goes.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna be like chit-chatting, talking. We can possibly tell some ghost stories. I'm definitely feeling some like spookiness going on today. It's definitely in the air. Have you felt like a different energy lately too about that? Because I have, especially in the last, I would say, week. I have felt just spirit activity being like extra lately.
Yeah, I've been getting I think my boyfriend, my dreams, my sisters, and some of my family members' dreams are like bleeding into each other. We're
Oh,
actually like literally saying animals in our dreams that
uh-huh.
we don't know that we had a dream about. Like, for example, my mom will dream about a cow and a tiger, and then my boyfriend will dream about the same thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Wow.
And he's been dreaming more. He literally said that for most of his life, he didn't dream at all. And
Yeah.
recently he has been, and he's been having very weird dreams that are very different than what he's used to. He even says he kind of wishes he doesn't dream anymore.
Yeah, like I mean, dreams can be so crazy. I mean, I lately I feel like mine are been kind of the opposite, but I don't know it's because if I've had so much activity like in my waking hours that in my dream state I'm just kind of like, okay, I need a little bit of like a break, you know?
Hmm.
Like to relax, but I actually thought of doing a little dream like satchel thingy, like bag
Yeah.
and like putting it under my pillow and then seeing, what kind of dreams I have with that because I haven't done that in a while and I really want to get back into doing that again.
Yeah.
More so
Yeah.
because I want to do like a past life regression thing because I
Same. We're on the same journey here. This is so weird. The
uh,
dragons, that's why.
right? I think that's why. I mean, I've always had I feel like I have a block when it comes to my past lives and
Really.
I don't know what that's about, but I mean, I'm open to learning, you know?
Yeah, I think okay, so we do a lot of past life regressions with friends and stuff. And we
Uh-huh.
actually had one friend become traumatized a little bit from his regression. He
Wow.
found out that I think he was like from Brazil or somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and it was his job to kill. Oh, I
Mm.
don't know if I could say that out here. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
people deceased
Okay.
on. Uh, that was his job, and he ended up going through the emotions of the family members that had lost their loved ones. And it
Wow.
was just really too heavy for him. It's very different than his current character that he is in this life.
Yeah.
So maybe subconsciously, maybe your spirit guides know
Uh-huh.
that you're not ready yet because you
Oh
might find out something that would hurt you a little bit.
Gregory, I just got the chills. I promise you. As soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I tried doing one of those like meditation things, like on YouTube,
Hmm.
past life meditation while you sleep, and
Raw, move your head. Go. I'm sorry. Go, Raw.
how cute. Yeah, my dogs were barking insanely earlier, so I'm glad. But what I got from it too, that from my past life, it was like I don't even recognize like that person. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
and I was like, I mean, that would kind of make sense because the whole reason why we come back in the first place is to evolve and to like
Hmm.
grow. So that would make complete sense if my past life, maybe the reason why I'm blocked is because I have this idea of who I could have been, or
Hmm.
and I'm just like maybe not really realizing that I was a completely different person than what I'm thinking, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
that
like it's tough though because you really don't know. Because for me, like I've dealt with spirits my entire life, and I had still been scared for a long time, and I know that my my higher self, my angels, everyone that is protecting me was like, hey, we'll keep them back for you for now, but you need to understand that this
Mhm.
is part of you and you have to accept it at some point.
Yes. Yes. And that's where I think I'm like, okay, I think I'm starting to be a little bit more open, especially since now I have this thing in me where I'm like, okay, I literally have to have an open mind and not be like scared of who I could have possibly been. Like, you know? So
I
do you
have a live audience here.
yeah,
Yeah, they look so cute.
I wish I could see that. I always love seeing them like whenever you do your vlogs like in the past and you would put them in, they were so cute. Or like your videos on Instagram.
Oh yeah, they're so funny. I love them. I got lucky with them.
So do you have any other stories you would like to share? I
Yes.
love
All right.
stories.
So I've been doing some work uh with spirits,
Mhm.
ghosts and stuff because I've been dealing with a lot of loss. So I think it's just kind of bleeding into my life.
Right.
But I have been noticing we've been going almost into space in a sense. So we're having beings that are like extraterrestrial
Right. Uh-huh.
starting to enter.
Uh-huh.
I had where it was late at night. Actually, no, it was actually becoming morning, but it was just technically that late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we'd been up the entire day, and it was finally time when we were gonna go to sleep. So like crack of dawn, basically.
Mhm.
Um, my boyfriend was hungry, so he decided that he was gonna make something before we knocked out. Awesome.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're talking about you. Um,
There. Hi.
she says hello.
Hi.
He says hi. But okay, so I was in the bed and he's like, "Don't fall asleep because I want to share my meal with you." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And
Mhm.
I wasn't falling asleep.
Mhm.
But I've been having individuals that are like that have passed that are some are celebrities.
Mhm.
And this one in particular was weird for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so what happened was I was laying on the bed and I was trying not to go to sleep. And I ended up getting into that in between sleep state.
Yeah.
And I was facing the doorway. And I had noticed that I was in the state of where I could not move, but I could see.
Mhm.
And I was staring right at the doorway. And there was a child, a toddler, who was the like same height and almost same color as um, our nephew we have here.
Mhm. Oh wow.
And it wasn't him though.
Yeah.
And he was like not clear all the way, but you could pick up on his height, you could pick up on his color and everything. And he ran to the doorway and he was like, "Hey." And then he ran back, and then a gray came to the door
Okay.
and had just stood there for a brief second. And a gray to me is it's like a type of alien in a sense.
Mhm.
I've had them in my life like for a long time, but I hadn't seen them recently for a while.
Yeah.
And then he had stepped away, and then a new spirit stepped at the doorway, and he had his hands in his pockets, and I, for some reason, got. I don't know if you're familiar with Glee.
Mhm. Yes.
There was Puck. I think it was Puckerman or whatever, the one who passed.
The one who passed, yeah.
Um,
The majority of them have passed already, right? Like
yeah,
three of them?
he actually, he was the one that took his life,
Right.
and it was like him and his silhouette standing there. I couldn't see his face clearly, and it was almost like his entire body was made out of patches. Like his skin was a patch of different people. It was like I know that they were multiple skins of different people, and
Mhm.
that was like what came through.
Mhm.
And then he walked away.
Mhm.
And then, like, I think it might have been like a minute or so later, my boyfriend comes and I'm like fully awake.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because before this experience had come through where Puck came through. I think his name is Mark. Yeah, because I kept getting a message about Mark, and then I kept getting like August and stuff like that, and I had to bust out my tarot cards that was supposed to be a gift for one of my friends. For
Uh-huh.
some reason, it was telling me like grab them, and just do it. And I
Yeah.
started pulling the cards. I think it was like August 11th or 22nd or something. I got Mark and just this other information. And I didn't know that that was his real name.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, hold on, okay. So I wrote the stuff down and then I decided to pull up his information on the internet
Uh-huh.
and it all matched up. He's a
Wow.
Leo, and I got the Leo thing too on the cards. It said it like straight up. It has the symbol there.
Yeah.
He's a Leo. It had his birthday right, his name right. And
Wow.
then I had that experience come through where he was like walking with like his skin as patches. And I'm just like, what is this mean?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever come across something like that before.
But the three visitor thing happened to my sister too recently, and then my mother had that experience when she was pregnant with me.
Uh-huh.
She was pregnant with me and she said that there was three people standing in the room.
Uh-huh.
There was two little boys that were twins and they were dressed in like very old clothing, a time period she's aware of that I don't remember which one it was. um, and she said that there was a woman with black hair and that she looked just like me now,
Wow.
and she said that the boys, like, they were pointing at her and they were like, it's her, it's that one, she's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, my oldest sister, has had the same experience recently, but different people, different visitors. And then I had that experience with those visitors and it was different. There's some stuff I can't really talk about right now. I don't think it's safe for YouTube,
Yeah,
and it's also very personal things.
for
It
sure.
just it just correlated too much. Like it made too much sense,
Too
but
much. Yeah.
also it still has me asking a lot of questions.
Uh-huh. You see, that's so crazy. And like I got shivers like the entire time. I love that because every time I hear stories and I get the shivers, it's like the energy coming through, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, and something that I also got is that he was hollow.
Ooh.
Hollow was the thing that kept coming through. He is hollow. And then the patches and stuff. I'm like, okay, if he's patched up together and he's hollow, how does that work? You
Yeah,
know? It was weird.
that is weird. I recently had an experience though, but I was still awake while I had the experience. So like I saw it while I was still awake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to go to bed, but I was not even like fully remotely like even close to falling asleep, you know?
Yeah.
My family and I recently we went on like a summer vacation to Austin
Ooh.
and we were renting a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that night, I had a headache and I was having trouble sleeping. So my brother-in-law, he's like, "Do you want to try one of these CBD oils or one of these CBD the gummies things?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Those really help me, like knock out."
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hesitant, but I was kind of like, okay. I was like, "Well, let me get half of one. I don't think I can do the full
Yeah.
thing." He's like, "Yeah, no, the full thing, that'll probably be too much for you." So I literally only had half of that freaking gummy, right? Oh my god, I swear that gummy, it made my senses like even more awakened than actually trying to go to sleep. Has that ever happened to you? Like
Um, it's something in my family we like to talk about, like, what's his name? I forget what his name is. I can't believe I forgot it right now. He talks about having tiger's blood
okay.
or a lot of acid in our
Uh-huh.
blood or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's an actor. He's a stinker. He's like super well known, and I forgot his name right now. Well, apparently they say that that's like what my family has, because my mom should be pregnant, next thing you know, the gold gets sucked out of her rings,
Oh my God.
and then I end up finding out that I have like a decent percent of Neanderthal in my blood. I found that out recently, and apparently at the time it was a big deal, because only like 2% of the population at the time of them having their information had the amount that I had had.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering if it correlates with that somehow, like, because it kind of takes you to a elevated state almost. And at the same time, you have this slight undertone where you don't necessarily care. So then
Yeah,
that means the fear is gone, right? And then things just come through easier.
swear to you. I swear that's how I felt. So I'm in the room, right? Like trying to go to sleep. And in this room, there's a big old mirror type of
Mm-hmm.
closet there. Just to like store extra stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But it's a closet, but on the outside there's a mirror,
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I just start staring into that damn mirror. And I'm not the type of person to do that. Like, because I
Yep.
know that mirrors are portals and I'm not stupid. So
We're friends now.
I just start staring. I promise you, for like 5 minutes straight, I felt like I didn't even blink. Like.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What is going on?" And then I kind of like got out of it, and I was like, "Okay, Renee, you're probably just tripping already on this dang gummy, like." So I was just like, "Get yourself together, like you're fine, go to sleep." So I'm just like, "Okay," but again, another 10 minutes passes by, and again, I find myself looking at the mirror.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh," like, and I'm over here trying to tell myself, "Stop. Like, don't look at it. Stop. Why are you looking at it?" Like.
Yeah.
But you're just like, I knew something was there and I could feel it. Well, sure enough, I started seeing a dark shadow. It wasn't like a light shadow. It was a dark shadow. And
Mm-hmm.
it was an image of a little girl, probably around like, I don't know, like 7 or 8. Like she was still very like young. She wasn't
Yeah.
a toddler, she wasn't that young, but she was like 7 or 8. All of a sudden I just felt this energy of like deep sadness.
Yeah.
And like, okay, like what the hell is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I tried to knock myself out of it because at this point I'm like, I'm not sleeping. Like.
Absolutely.
At this point, I'm not sleeping. I'm already seeing stuff and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, right?
Uh-huh.
I tried to figure out what was going on. I actually didn't feel a calling though to bring out my deck, even though I had it with me, but
Yeah.
I did not feel that calling. Normally I would have been like you, like let me get my deck and see
Yeah.
what was going on. But this time I didn't feel that like pull to go and grab it, right?
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay. So I went to the living room and my husband, my brother-in-law, and my mother-in-law are still awake, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I went to the living room and they're like, Renee, like, what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm feeling very weird and I'm pretty sure it's this gummy, but I'm also seeing things in the damn room. Like.
See, and it's great that everyone is cool with what you're saying to them, because ultimately it'd be like they would be telling me, You need to go to an insane asylum, my friend." And it's like, no, that's not the case. Spiritual stuff is going down.
I was like, I promise you, that's not. But like, I love that too. That I can talk to my husband's family about it because I mean, I've done readings for my mother-in-law. Like, they all know that I do this stuff. Right now, if it
Yeah.
was my family, I would have had to keep my mouth shut. Right.
Yeah.
But since it was them, I was like, I swear, there's something in the mirror in that closet, and I can't go to sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
and of course, like they start kind of like they don't really start freaking out, but they're kind of like, well, damn, we got spirits in the house, like.
Yeah.
It's not even our house, and we're renting the house, like.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm there on the couch and I'm trying to fall asleep, but I'm still like wide awake while trying to fall asleep. And my husband's like, "Go to the room." I'm like, "No, I don't want to go to the room because I want to be staring in that mirror for the whole night." Like,
Rub some garlic on it.
yeah, he's like, "Well," he's like, "Cover it." I'm like, "No, because I'm gonna be inclined to take it off and like, I just felt like a fooling to just stare at it, and I know that's not good, you know. So I was
Uh,
just kind of like, I never figured out what it was or what happened because I did end up falling asleep. But
mhm.
I swear, like it was so vivid and it was so clear, and I don't think I will ever do those gummies ever again. Like,
Honestly, I can make you something.
ooh,
But I literally, it's gonna have to be one of those times when we actually hang out in real life.
yeah, yeah,
So, because then that way I could actually work with you in a way that will make it an actual spiritual experience, and you're not going to have that fear anymore. Because
yes,
I've been doing a lot of shadow work lately,
mhm,
and it turns out that mirror work is becoming one of the things that I'm getting really big into.
ooh,
So, I'm
see,
also using the glass of my phone because
uh-huh,
it's literally, it looks like a black mirror,
right,
and I have been using it for some interesting work I'm working on right now when it comes to my progress in magic.
yeah,
But in general, I'm doing a lot of scrying with black mirrors,
yeah,
but it has to do with like a lot of information I've been getting recently
uh-huh.
that I'm trying to figure out first before I just throw it out there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I would love that. And now I'm gonna have to plan a trip to go see you.
Well, I also do a lot of work with light, so different colors, different tones, also light pulsating.
Mhm,
I have accomplished basically with my sister in
mhm.
particular, I can knock her out with light. I
Ooh,
can make her fall asleep with my light bulbs
oh my
because I can control the different lights, the amount it might pulse, and things like that. And it kind of creates a hypnotic state, which
God.
then puts her to sleep. And I
Yes.
even created like a file that I have saved so that like I can use it when she needs to rest.
Yes. Oh, well, see, I would definitely be open to doing something like that, like for sure. I've actually always wanted to try hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy. Have you ever tried that too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that. Yeah. It's great, but because of I don't know, just because a lot of things in my life, I think that whenever I do get involved in something like that, it's like I open the floodgates of all kinds of stuff. And then it's like I have to be ready and prepared for the possibility of having a psychic attack or needing to take a break from magic in order to recoup my own energy.
Right.
And also to maintain my mental health because um, people who don't take the craft seriously will just automatically feel that individuals in the practice have mental health issues. And I make sure I stay on top of mine so that no one can make that argument with me.
Right. Yeah, I do my best to do the same thing too. Like I always make sure that I mentally prepared before doing any type of spell work, or I make sure that my energy is cleansed. And I definitely have been taking that a lot more seriously. It is very important. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Pumpkin Soul. How are you guys doing? I forgot to mention in the chat that if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, okay? I'm over here the one like taking up all the conversation.
Oh, my hands are too dirty for me to check the phone for the like what messages are coming through.
I've got the baby wipes that I keep like trying to make sure that I stay okay and not too sticky.
Yeah, I got
I know.
it's paper towel.
One eye down.
Oh really? Two.
You're already beating me. I'll get there. I'll get there.
It's this weapon that I have.
Yeah, my weapon too. Do you do anything with the pumpkin seeds? Because I know that there is obviously a lot that can be done with them, but do you do anything in particular with the pumpkin seeds?
So with the pumpkin seeds, like this is what we would do all the time. Whenever we do this, my family, we always would cook the pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
And it was just basically the time that we got to make our own custom pumpkin seeds of all different kinds of flavors and stuff. So it was really like a little moment when it came to the pumpkin seeds themselves. That was the treasure for
Yeah.
us. Um, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with mine. But if you really did want to, you could use these for fertility spells.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're really good for fertility.
I'm at the point right now to where I'm okay if if I end up getting pregnant again. Um, but I'm also okay if like it doesn't happen just yet, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So you're just going to let things happen the way the
Yeah.
universe is going to have it happen.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind trying, like, just to see if it works, like, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's why like I'll keep friends in mind. Like whenever I hear someone saying they're trying or whatever, I'm like, alrighty, I'm gonna get the encyclopedia of witchcraft going and try to figure out the perfect spell for you if you decide you need it.
Yes. That's also why, like, I've been trying to also, like, incorporate other things too in my craft, because normally I just use candles, like, that's, like, my thing, and that's
Yeah,
what I know, like, will work for me, but I'm trying to add, like, other things to it, you know?
yeah.
Just to be more crafty.
Yeah, and that's kind of like how I'm getting things right now. I'm trying to make everything I do part of my magic so that that way I can also, have stuff for content as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I if I live in my magic and produce content,
Mhm.
I should be living happy then. So
Yes.
that way I'm doing what I enjoy, I'm still learning and I'm still practicing my practice and
Yes,
hopefully making an income.
exactly. You should try TikTok. Have you tried doing TikTok content on TikTok? Because witch talk is like booming right now.
Yeah, I have a TikTok. I did the TikTok thing for a hot second, but I kept listening to people being all like, "Oh, you have to stick to one thing." And I'm just like, I don't really do that.
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
they say you have to keep up with it. And then it's like if you don't keep up with it, then it throws you in the trash. And I'm just like, why do I want to worry about all the drama of TikTok's algorithm when the YouTube algorithm is so much easier in my mind? And not only that, like how fast you have to move in some of the videos, but
Yeah.
I'm literally getting over it. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to do it
Mhm.
because all of the pictures and stuff I've been taking in mini video clips, I've been doing different like positions. So
Mhm.
the camera angle they use for TikTok and then like the regular camera angle. So I have stuff for YouTube as well.
Right. Yeah. That's another thing that I'm trying to get better at, is doing both at the same time, because
Yeah.
I'm still at the point where I'm like, okay, this is for YouTube. Now I have to do one for TikTok. You know, but again,
Yeah.
like you said, the camera angles are two totally different things.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
like now we're operating basically a studio here and it's like we're trying to help other individuals get involved on TikTok, YouTube, doing podcasts and stuff like that on Audible and Spotify. I'm
mhm,
already working with one of my teachers.
mhm.
She is going to be creating a podcast. So
Ooh,
we do all the filming and everything for her, all the editing, and we're going to be dropping that here soon.
nice.
But it's she's into Buddhism
Mhm.
and she's been into her practice for like over 40 years.
Oh wow.
And yeah, she's well known in some places, but
Mhm.
I don't think that she's as well known here. And that's kind of like my job now
Yeah.
because I'm aware of how things work currently online and everything. So I'm able to kind of like revamp some of the stuff locally.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, you're gonna have to let me know when that comes out. That way I can check it out.
Yeah. And we're really excited. I was like really intimidated at first, but then once we started working with her and creating some of the content or organizing it anyway, currently,
Mhm.
we feel really good about it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Woo. My goodness, the nose is a little small, so it's a little it's tricky. I'm
You're
trying to.
much nicer than me. I wasn't going to give my guy a nose.
Well, I got a little picture off of Pinterest to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I just copied that. I still need to cut the inside too because you know how there's still like the stuff that on the inside, but like over here on this side,
Yeah,
it's
magic spoon.
yeah. I forgot a spoon, but it's all right.
This one's like so awesome though, because it's like super circular. So
Yeah.
it's got a lot of surface area to get all up in there.
Hi, long hair, skinny eyed toad. Jocelyn, you got the job. You're starting training 2 weeks on Monday. Yay! Congratulations, Jocelyn. That is awesome. I'm so excited. Well, I got some pumpkin in my eyebrows. Goodness.
Oh, he's kind of cute.
Almost there. Almost there. Oh, Lord. So, do you have any other Halloween traditions that maybe you and your family like to do?
Basically, our major tradition is paranormal stuff, like paranormal, scary movies and stuff like that. It's constantly back and forth. We're talking about our paranormal experiences. We watch paranormal shows to become updated on like the newest technology and newest people doing weird stuff during investigations. But it really becomes us remembering those who have passed on,
Yeah,
and we do that by telling stories and talking about past Halloweens and experiences
yeah.
and the memories of those we miss.
That is awesome. See, I wanted to start to incorporate Day of the Dead holiday into my practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know you can do that whenever, but obviously it's more inclined to this time of year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I wanted to incorporate too, because my family never really celebrated, you know, like Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
Yep.
And my mom is very Christian religious, so she never wanted to like do any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And now
That's so
that
sad.
yeah, now that I'm free to do my own thing,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna start it in my family.
I think that's amazing. Like something that you should check out is if they have local celebrations there, because out here in Vegas you have a lot of the different communities will put on a full event at a park or somewhere like that so that you can celebrate with other individuals and
Yeah,
also learn more about the day itself and how you can kind of like create your own family tradition with it.
yes. I was gonna start with my altar, like you know, putting pictures of like my family and like doing little offerings.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was gonna kind of start, and then I was gonna see if I can go actually visit like my grandpa, um, you know, things like that. So I was like, okay, like, but I love the whole idea of like spending the day at the cemetery and just like you know like dancing and laughing and like you know I love the idea, but other than my husband, I don't know who would want to join me.
I got you. See, here's the thing. I was learning about cemeteries and the history of cemeteries, and cemeteries were seen as a big deal. Like if you went there, you were having big get-togethers and gatherings, even though it was individuals who have passed. They
Yeah,
were trying to make it a good energy place, somewhere you can go to be with your family and be with the one who has passed. But over time, people treat it like some weird, creepy, spooky place, and like the only time you go there is to cry. And
hmm,
that really the energy you want there for those who are literally like possibly coming back to that place just to see you, and then
yeah,
there's nothing but nobody there, and then the one individual that's there, they're crying.
yeah,
You know. And what's crazy is now we're getting to a point to where cemeteries just might not be a thing, because the decomp that's happening with the bodies and the decay of the freaking wooden boxes that are so expensive and extremely unnecessary with the amount of bull crap you put on the outside, you are
right,
literally littering into the earth.
yeah,
And then apparently it creates this toxic chemical that is super bad for people to be around, and it's starting to happen to some of the oldest like cemeteries and overpopulated cemeteries. So they're really encouraging people to try to turn to other ways of laying your dead.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think I 100% agree with you. Like trying to get it normalized again to be there and visit with your loved ones has to be more of a thing. But
And, you
the
know, like,
bad thing about that is like if you don't try to show that kind of love and you keep those places empty, you leave it open for people to vandalize too.
yeah. Yep, I completely agree, and that makes complete sense though, because there are some cemeteries where you go to and you can smell like all like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you can
Yeah,
smell all of that, and that creates an energy in itself, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So that makes complete sense. But yeah, I've always thought the whole like being buried in a box like defeats the purpose of being buried. Like, you know?
Yeah. Well, now there's so many cool, it sounds terrible. I can't believe I'm talking about people like this. Now you can literally have ashes turned into diamonds. You can have it tattooed into your skin and other things like that. Like you can make it far more sacred to you. Like
Yeah.
I currently have the remains of my great grandmother, and I'm holding on to those, waiting to have it turned into a diamond.
Oh, I
Or
love
possibly tattoos. Who knows? What are we going to do here?
either way. Yes, I love that. I mean, that's more of a treasure than anything else. Like, you know, and
Exactly.
you can
And
always
then,
put it on you.
yeah, and it takes you back to the old times when they would like keep little pieces of hair in jewelry, or they would put it in toys, and it would be considered like a death toy or a death piece of jewelry.
Uh-huh.
And now we're capable of actually creating diamonds and
Yeah.
something you can pass on to family members that will last you a long time, as long as you don't lose it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would feel so bad if
I would cry. Like, forgive me.
I try to find my pendulum, be like, can you tell me where it's at? Oh my goodness. Pumpkin guts are everywhere. And that's because I'm trying to be so clean about it.
Huh?
Pumpkin guts are getting everywhere, and that's because I'm trying to be so clean about it. What did Jocelyn say? Dia de los Muertos. There are some tarot decks with the sugar skulls, and yeah, Dia de los Muertos things. Yeah, I've seen them. I just haven't bought any yet.
Go. Back up. Away with you. Go. Raw, stop. Taking advantage. He knows. Go.
Who knows? I'm about halfway to getting the smile done. The smile is the hardest part.
Here's my smile. Oh, frick. There we are.
I love it. Look, your dog loves it.
I know they want it really bad. Go. Both of you.
It smells good.
Go. Raw. I ain't kidding. Stop it. Go.
How old
Thank
are
you.
they?
They are 2 now. So now they're like teenagers. They're supposed to be considered full grown, but no, they're teenagers.
Yeah. How cute. Yeah, we have 5 dogs outside and 1 dog inside, but none of them are considered mine, so I'm totally fine.
Oh, okay. Do you prefer cats or dogs?
I love either or. The only thing is I'm really allergic to cats now.
Ah.
Out of nowhere. Now I'm also allergic to dogs, but not as bad as cats.
Mhm.
I don't know why. That's just weird. But I had cats my whole life growing up, literally my whole life. And then out of nowhere, probably like 3 years ago, I started to develop that allergy towards them. So, but I still love them, and I will still pet them because I take my allergy pill on the daily. So.
Yeah, my boyfriend is allergic to cats, so the universe sends me cats. Yeah, so that I can have them as friends outside instead of inside.
Outside, they come visit you.
Yeah, black cats actually.
There was this one time, was it last year? I think it was, or it may have been 2 years ago. We were at our old apartment that we used to live in, my husband and I. And there was this one night that the energy just felt really like different and really weird.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, like something told me that I needed to cleanse, so I did.
Mhm.
I did what I do with my with cleansing ritual and stuff, and I started to cleanse. I look so weird with this like freaking knife in my hand, like
I You could actually see me stabbing this stuff, and I'm just like, "Ugh," because it gets stuck in there.
oh lord. So after I cleansed, probably like an hour later, I heard two cats outside, and
Mhm.
it sounded like they were fighting, but it didn't really sound like they were fighting each other. It sounded like they were fighting something else,
Uh-huh.
working together to fight whatever they were fighting.
Yeah.
But something told me to stay inside and not to go outside. So I was like, okay, normally I would go outside to like check what it was, especially since it's cats, like, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but for whatever reason, something told me to stay inside. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay inside. And again, these cats were fighting for like a good, I would say like 10 minutes, right?
Mhm.
I was like, okay, like that's weird. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they stopped. And I was like, okay. And then after they stopped, like my spirit was like, okay, like you can go outside if you want to, right?
Mhm.
Like, okay. So I went outside just to check and the cats were gone. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And like I go back inside and that night I had a dream that there is a spirit like outside of my door trying to like really come inside the house.
Mhm.
And but because they cleansed, like it couldn't come inside, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, wow, like that's crazy how I had a dream that night and then there was cats outside my door and that also in my dream I saw the cats fighting the spirit like for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. I'm like, because I swear, I mean, obviously you can hear cats like they're loud when they fight, you know?
Yes, absolutely. It sounds vicious. You can tell
Yes.
that it's a real fight.
Yes. And I was kind of like, okay, like, wow. Well, I had heard, I think a couple of weeks later, that one of the girls that I had used to be friends with, I guess she tried to like hex me or something.
I've been getting that a lot lately, actually.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it didn't work. Like, you know?
Exactly. That's what's been happening to me. Because like I can tell when it's happening and when it hits and I feel it. And I'm like,
Yes.
who is doing this to me? Like I don't mess with anybody like that. And then I'm
Mhm.
just like, well, you're dumb because we're working on this and it's gonna be gone. Because I've gotten too used to it happening. And I'm just like, I feel like
Unfortunately.
that it's part of being somebody on YouTube as well. You have individuals who start to just make things up in their head and then they feel entitled to do stuff to you just
Yeah.
because you're teaching. And it makes me so mad. And I think that's another reason why like I've been having so many like ghostly visitors is because they're just like we're here to help out.
Your army of protectors is here.
Exactly.
Yes, and then too, more so now that I feel like I have even more protectors surrounding me since, you know, I started working with dragon energy.
Yes.
Ever since I started working with dragon energy, I have felt this like sensation. Not that I like, because I've always felt this way, but even more so, I'm like, try to mess with me, see what happens. Like, you know?
Exactly. Heck yeah. I'm the same way. I'm like, try it. Are you
Yeah,
threatening me? Let's do it. Let's go.
I would love to see you try. Like, not that I'm encouraging it, but at the same
Exactly. Yes.
it's gonna happen whether you ask for it or not, you know?
Exactly.
So it's crazy. Do you have any stories about dragons? I would love, I mean, obviously, if you want to share, you don't have to because I know that's very like private.
Well, when it comes to the dragons, I think my biggest one recently that kind of like like it let me know that my hints and stuff I've been getting about them is like legitimate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was basically I like to take a day to kind of detox my brain.
Mm,
That means like getting rid of like neurotoxicity and stuff. So it's kind of like a day to be bored.
yeah.
And that's something that we're losing. is being bored because we have phones. Like
Yeah.
if we're sitting down for a little bit of time, we just start going through our phones, which then keeps our brain still stimulated, and it causes the neurotoxicity to build up.
Uh-huh.
So I will take like a day of the week where I try to dust everything and clean everything and play some lo-fi in the background that doesn't have any words, so that way my brain just goes, and lets everything go.
Yeah.
So while I was dusting my stuff over here, I got the image of my grandmother's Dragon King
Mm-hmm.
sitting on my shelf up here. And next thing you know, I don't remember if it was like the next day or a couple days later, she called me and said, "Hey, do you want my Dragon King?" And I'm like, "Heck yes, I want your Dragon King. I wanted him the day you bought him." And then like I just got the sign about him and I'm like, "Yes." And I needed him so bad. Because it was one of those things where like my grandmother had him to protect her home,
Mm-hmm.
and he would watch the door, and I had gotten to a position to where I wasn't feeling like safe. So I'm just like, I need I need the Dragon King. Like it was there in me that I wanted it, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't get one right now. And my grandmother gave me hers, and I was just like, the timing is so perfect. My grandmother has been on point when I am literally like falling too deep into some of the stuff I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
It's like her psychic self just gets that bing, and then she's like, "Erica, what's up?" Like something's going on. Here's this. It's everything you need.
Oh,
And she doesn't even realize like how helpful she is. And the
yeah.
times that she's been popping back for like helping me out, it's
Mhm.
always on time and perfect. And it's never too much. Like
Oh,
I love I love and appreciate my grandmother so much. She's freaking awesome.
I love that. See, that's where I kind of like, I wish my family members did this stuff. Like, but I do have family members that do it. It's just when you have like a separation in the family between like cousins and whatnot, well, they're on the side of the family that we really don't speak to that much anymore, especially since great grandmothers passed away. They're the only ones
Yeah.
keeping like the whole family together, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I do have other people in my family that practice witchcraft and everything, but like I said, they're on the other side of the family, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the position I'm getting into now, like with all the loss that we're having now.
Hmm.
And then like my time, I don't really get to grieve exactly.
Hmm.
I can't hide from everyone else's problems.
Yeah.
I to just grieve.
Yeah.
So literally I made it known to myself that I'm celebrating Halloween for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
The rest of this year, I'm celebrating Halloween, and it's going to be my time to grieve my great grandmother, grieve my uncle, and just I'm not doing I'm not doing Christmas and everything like that. It's the rest of the year is Halloween for me this year because of everything.
I love that. I mean, yeah, practically in this house all year is Halloween for me.
Yeah, it is like that for me, but I'm making it a point that I'm not going to like a Christmas get together. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm just not. And it's just I want to have time to just
For yourself. Yeah.
but it's gonna be they're not here for that.
Yeah.
So I would rather do my own way of remembering them
Yeah.
in my practice. I want to do it in a very particular way, but yeah, it's just yeah.
Totally understandable. Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, huh. Like I remember when was it a couple of years ago when my daughter was barely born, and we were just kind of like, no, she's too young. We don't want to have her around everybody
Hmm.
and like risk her getting sick. So we're
Yeah.
stay home. Like obviously they were not happy, but it's our child and it's our decision. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Heck yeah.
and I'm starting to get to that point too, you know, because I mean, obviously, well, my mom's side of the family, like, they're all Christian, they're all very religious type of people, right?
Hmm.
And which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it gets to the point to where it's like that's all that they talk about. They're like talking robots of like Christianity and religion.
I 100% understand what you're saying.
Yes, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like everything that they have to talk about has to be about that. And it's
Yeah,
like
and then
laugh.
it's like they grab like different things and they want to start preaching to you again, hoping that this 155th time that you've done this would work.
Exactly. So it gets to the point to where it's just like, okay, like, I think that's my cue to leave, but obviously
Hmm.
holidays are a little harder. So at the same time, it's just kind of like, do I gotta like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's difficult. It's so difficult because when you're trying to keep the peace, it makes you have to literally like limit yourself in certain ways.
Yes.
It's just, you just got to pick your battles.
Yep, exactly. And that's the hard thing too, is picking your battles. What's
Yeah.
that? You can smell the pumpkin? Does it smell delicious? My husband. I am officially done. Looks like we finished at the see, there's
Oh,
some guts coming out of the mouth, but that's totally fine. If
wait.
I get the angle correctly. I did the same thing. Mine was like both angles. They look so cute. Oh my god. Perfect. I'm so satisfied. And I'm
Me too, actually. I can't believe I still have my finger.
I know I tried to use the smallest knife that would still do its job. I just gotta get I gotta get one of those LED candles, those like rainbow ones. I forgot.
Yeah. Here, let me see. Let me go.
Yeah, I forgot to get one. That's
Ah. I'm gonna leave it like that.
you should. I was gonna tell you that looks perfect.
I don't know about the hat. Well, I can get him a real hat. Oh my gosh. The ideas.
You have a little witchy hat.
Oh no, I have this really cute, like, oh, I'm gonna get it. Give me a quick second. I'll be back.
Get it, please, because I have to see it. Ooh. Are y'all still with us? I know. I came on at a time when it's like 8 o'clock at night on a Friday night. We know. Everybody's probably like out and about right now. It's totally fine. This is what I
I'm back.
got it.
Yeah. I don't think that it's gonna work because the candle is so big. But it's like a little Mad Hatter hat. I love it. Doesn't
Make
work. If
make
only. I think I have a smaller candle and I'll switch it out, but I'm totally gonna leave it like that
that
because I
looks
have an altar set up with pumpkins and stuff over here. The entire den is an altar now.
yes. See. Hopefully soon. You know what's funny? So I did intention work for the Lionsgate portal that we just had not too long ago,
Uh-huh.
and I did very specific, you know, intention, right? Since I was like,
Uh-huh.
this time I'm going to be very specific. I'm going to make sure that I use my words correctly, and that I'm going to make sure that it's exactly what I see in my head, right?
Yes.
So that's what I did for the Lionsgate portal. I even had my husband write petition as well. That's what I did. I did petition work with the intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we both do it. We both light it on fire, you know, and let it go, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, one of my intentions is already
I'm
coming is already coming to manifestation.
they're literally hitting it. Go. Like with their paws. They know that I'm being watched. And they're like, haha,
Like, are
you
you done
can't stop
already?
me or move.
Like, are you done already, Mom? You gotta pay attention to us. Like,
They use their paws like hands.
So, yeah, one of my intentions is already coming to pass, and I wanted to manifest a house within 5 years, right?
Yeah,
Very specific, and
very.
I put 5 years, but it's already kind of coming to manifestation in less than freaking 3 months.
That's so freaking awesome. Oh
I'm
my goodness.
like,
What did you do? What did you burned, right?
yeah, I did
Oh
petition.
yeah. Okay.
I even had my husband do a petition as well, because obviously, like when two people do it, it's a lot stronger, right?
Yes.
We're husband and wife, we're one, so like, you know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
And for
That's
whatever
so
reason,
cool.
I felt, because I never usually have him do, like, if I do candle work, I'll have him write his own, like, carve his own name into the candle. Like, I'll have him do like small things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I felt that he needed to do some petition work too. So I gave him a piece of paper. I was like, here. And then I told him what to do, and he listened, right?
Yeah.
So again, I promise you, like not even 3 months later, that is already starting to kind of like, it's not obviously not fully there. It's gonna take a while.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that it's already kind of like coming into play is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
That is
So
so, and it's such a big like order too. And
yeah,
it's just coming into your life. That's so freaking awesome.
yeah. And one of my intentions for the house that I have in my head was I wanted my own room to do like my witchy stuff and like my tarot stuff, you know?
Heck yeah. Oh, I want to
Really?
see it once you get it all set up. I
Yes.
want to check that out. You need to do a tour.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna do it from like beginning to end, you know,
Mm-hmm.
how it all comes together. Jocelyn, you wrote out your intentions too. You lit it on fire and used two white candles. Yeah, I used a couple of candles as well and did the whole shebang. Actually, I have while I lit it on fire, I saw some like when the smoke was coming, I saw some like iridescent like spirit like things like coming out of the flames. Have you ever seen that? You know, like it felt like the manifestation was actually like you could see it coming
I
into
actually,
the universe. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yes, and it's almost as if the when you look at a candle,
Mhm.
there is that slight almost rainbow aura thing around it. Like you can see the light, and maybe not everyone can see this because supposedly my boyfriend said that this whole like rainbow thing that I see in light, not everyone can see it. He says that it's like a spectrum with
Spectrum.
the light and eyesight and shiz. So so basically the light around it, it's like that glow
Mhm.
comes off and away and forms like a being above it, and then they just go.
That's
And
what I
it's, yeah, it's like someone that had danced in the flame and they came out like a phoenix but a person.
yes,
Yeah.
I swear that's what I saw. And I was just like, okay, when I saw that, I was like, okay, my intentions are good. Like, you know?
Yes, yes, that is
I
so cool though.
Yes. So I'm very excited. So hopefully that happens a lot sooner than I thought it would.
Yeah, I think that there's a quick story I want to tell everybody about finally.
Go for it.
So I had another one of those weird dream states.
Hmm.
It turns out it was a dream very similar to one of the ones that we had discussed before on my channel,
Uh-huh.
where we were talking about how I had these two dogs like enter my room, and then even had it like standing next to me and like blowing air in my face. Like I could feel the breath.
Yeah.
So like that's on a different video, whole nother story. But I ended up having one very similar happen again.
Hmm.
And the reason why I didn't really talk about it was because it had to do with a wolf.
Hmm.
And when it comes to wolves, they are seen differently in different cultures.
Right.
And that's just kind of like how I think I feel about myself and a lot of other things is like people have an idea about you. So
Yes.
like if you are someone who does witchcraft, they automatically assume when they don't have knowledge of it, they assume that you're evil.
Evil. Yes.
And
The devil.
so
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, so when it comes to the wolf, they are kind of in that middle ground too. They can be seen as protectors, guardians, or even things you don't want to see because that means that there's something bad about to happen.
Yeah,
It's
like
different for multiple cultures. Yeah. Um, so while I had my name as Akasha Wolf, I wanted to keep the wolf protected. And
mhm,
this dream made the wolf different.
mhm,
It was almost vicious and angry. So what happened was I was in my room, I was sleeping, and I heard growling,
mhm,
like really dark growling. At this time, we didn't have our boys,
mhm.
and uh, I was trying to look into the closet because I was still sitting in bed, but I was looking towards the closet. We don't have doors in the closet.
Mhm.
And I'm staring really hard in the darkness because usually I can see in the dark pretty well.
I can see
And
that too, yeah.
yeah, I can see in the dark pretty well, especially like darkness.
Mhm.
And I also realized that our nightlight that we had and my like chicken nugget salt lamp was not on. And I'm like, oh no, it's happening again.
Yeah.
And I can still hear the growl in the closet. So
Mhm.
for some reason, I grabbed my phone and I was just like, I just opened my camera. Well, no, I didn't open my camera. At the time, it was a different phone. I just grabbed my phone and I opened the camera because I'm like, if I can't see it with my eyes, can I see it with my camera?
Yeah.
And I faced it towards the actual closet. And the screen camera was actually a night camera. It was like it was like green in different tones and stuff. It was for nighttime. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, 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 phones don't have that. And then I started noticing the matrix, like those numbers for the matrix and stuff, was starting to bleed on the edges of the phone.
Oh.
And then I could see the wolf and I could see him step forward through the clothing and he was like rah, like growling like heavily. But
Uh-huh.
I could not, I did not feel like he was going to hurt me, but I felt dread.
Mhm.
And when he stepped forward and his hair stood up more, the camera itself like glitched
Mhm.
and became staticky like a TV,
Mhm.
like one of those old like CCTV things.
Yeah.
And then I woke up. And then like sometime later we got our boys. You like literally like his mother had said that we could, get two dogs and junk, but the
Uh-huh.
dream itself, I felt like that it was informing me that something was coming.
Yeah.
And since then, yes.
Crazy. I had a dream too, speaking of the wolves. Back when I first started realizing that my dreams, had meaning towards them, um,
Hmm.
this was probably, like I said, 9, 10 years ago, maybe when I first started. Um, I also had a wolf come to me in my dream too.
Hmm.
And I remember it was taking place at my grandmother's house, which at this point my grandfather had already passed away. So it was his house, right?
Hmm.
So we were standing in well, I was standing in the hallway and they have a really dark hallway. Like they never have it lit. Like there's never any lights or anything in this hallway. It's always just like very dark, right?
Hmm.
So I was standing like in from the kitchen to the hallway, and the hallway leads, there's 4 different rooms. And in that time, my family was going through a difficult process because at this time, my parents were still together, but we had heard rumors that my father was cheating on my mother, right? So we were trying to, I guess, get answers. So in this dream, that I was standing in the middle of the hallway. The lights were completely off, like I couldn't really see anything. But like you said, I can also see in the dark. That's probably why I like to keep night lights everywhere too, because
Hmm.
I can't have it pitch black because that's when I start to see stuff. Kind of like when I started looking in the mirror, like
Hmm.
that's when I start to see like all these things. So the wolf that came to me and he said, "Follow me."
Hmm.
But he actually spoke to me as if like he could talk, like like how we're talking here. He spoke to me.
Hmm.
That's all he said. He said, "Follow me," and I said, "Okay." So the room that he was leading me to at the time, it's my cousin's room. But I realized the reason why he led me to that room is because my cousin's room used to be my dad's room growing up.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, he's leading me to this room for a purpose because there's literally 4 different rooms in that house.
mm-hmm,
So it's kind of like, all right. So as we go into the room, he leads me to the closet. And I was like, okay, so the closet, like there's no clothes or anything like that. It's just like the closet in itself. And then when we go into the closet, there's another wolf there. But this
mm-hmm.
other wolf, like he doesn't look like he looks a little bit more intense than this wolf, but they're both like I knew they weren't gonna hurt me, but they had a message for me.
Yes.
So the first wolf that spoke to me, he said, pick one. Like pick one of the two, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Really?
It's been happening a lot to a lot of people around me recently, and including me. And it's continue your story. Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me because, like I said, this was like 10 years ago, so it's like it's been a while, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at me and again, he said, pick one. And he meant like one of the wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. I obviously picked the one that was talking to me because felt more like, okay, maybe this one is more, nicer than this one. I don't know what my thought process was, but because that one was already talking to me, I had picked that one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I picked that one, he all of a sudden he started becoming into like a form of a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what the hell is going on? Right. So he started becoming a form into a man. And he, like, I don't know if it was like a wolf suit, but he started to like unzip himself. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw my father like inside of this wolf. Right.
Oh crap. Okay.
I was kind of like, okay. And the funny thing is that I had this dream 2 nights in a row. This 2 nights in a row,
Wow.
I had the same dream. Because the first night, I really didn't, not that I didn't think anything of it, but I think I kind of ignored it, you know? So I had it again the next night and the same thing. I picked the same wolf and the same thing happened. So
Yeah.
I started to do my research and I was like, okay, what does a wolf represent like in a dream? And what I could find was that what a wolf represented was something isn't as it seems. And
Yes.
I'm kind of like, okay. Lo and behold, it was trying to tell me that everything that we were hearing about my dad was actually true and that my dad was lying to us and that he isn't who he seems. And that because I had picked that wolf, I had picked the wrong wolf because I was trying to like pick who I felt comfortable with. And it was like trying to still be comfortable with what I was already used to.
Mm-hmm.
So after that dream, honestly, my life just like 180 like shifted. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, that's the thing though, when you do actually have a wolf speak to you in a dream, they are taking you on a very serious journey. And some
Yes.
people, they literally what happened to you, you said that it was like a whole 180 after that.
Yeah.
It is it is literally that because they took you somewhere else, which created a kind of a chink in a chain somewhere. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because you moved outside of the natural realm of your current physical, like, um, reality, I guess you could say. So then
Right.
when you come out of an experience like that, your body and your energy is just beat up. And then everything just starts going crazy. It's
Yes.
like it's like putting a drop in a bucket and you see the little waves.
Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
basically kind of what happens.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's intense and awesome. I'm
Very.
really happy for you because that, even though the information that you received and stuff was what it was,
Yeah.
to get that experience is something not everyone gets.
Yeah.
And that's that's super cool.
Yeah. And that's another thing too that like I was grateful because like it was almost like, well, they were just there to tell me the truth. Like
Yes.
nothing like bad or because like I said, the whole time I didn't feel anything bad. I didn't feel anything like that they were gonna hurt me. I just felt like there was a message that they had for me.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay, I guess I have to be prepared for this, like,
Yeah. And see, that was something too, is like I've been getting, this is why I'm like kind of wondering where I stand when it comes to my abilities and just what is supposed to be a sign and what is just me being really like psychic and knowing things are going to happen beforehand, but it's been happening with TV shows and movies and stuff too. It's like I've been getting the proper things fed to me that is telling me a sign about something else.
Right.
But for example, I don't know if you have been watching American Horror Story recently.
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm not
before we
I'm not updated, but I'm up to Apocalypse.
okay, I've bounced between them.
Mm-hmm.
I've finished like different seasons and stuff because of the way the storyline goes. I
Yeah,
only end up like going in order as if it's absolutely necessary for the storyline.
yeah.
But with the most recent American Horror Story double feature, they've been that shit is masterpiece. I love it. But
It is. It really is.
yeah, but before these were getting released, it's literally like the day or 2 days before the episode is released, we have already experienced what the episode is going to be about. And
Wow.
what's been happening to me, okay, my mom and my sister are getting it really bad. But when it comes to me, I've been having this thing where I'm having these dreams that I'm with aliens and stuff, and supposedly I have all these kids.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, oh, great. I'm an alien hoe.
Always, my husband and I always joke that I have alien kids somewhere because on my stomach it looks like I have like a straight line going down from my belly button to
Really?
that area.
Uh-huh.
And like ever since then, it appeared out of nowhere one time, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like I hadn't gotten pregnant yet. Like
I get
nothing.
bruises and marks. Yeah.
Yeah, just a random freaking mark. And the funny thing is that my daughter has the same mark on her stomach too. And I was just kind of like, so we joke all the time that I have like alien kids like running around.
And you know, what's scary is like it's been hitting really hard, and I've been having these dreams consistently. And then it ended up awakening memories I had from the past
Uh-huh.
of like other dreams that I've had that were very similar. And I'm like, what the frick, you know? Like, did I literally ask for that? And then that's what's happening. And then what if they are out there and they're mad at me because I'm not aware of them, and they feel
Yeah.
like I'm a terrible mom, you know? But what makes this scary is I haven't communicated this at the time with my sister and my mother.
Mhm.
And my sister had literally come to me like concerned. Like she cried about it later too.
Wow.
And she said that she had a dream that she was captured by like aliens and that she was in a white room, which I've experienced the white room multiple times in my life. And that she had twins and they were mixed with like mermaids or some form of alien mermaid,
Mhm.
and that one of them was having a hard time surviving over the other, and they told her, pick one.
Kind of like my dream. Oh my god.
Yeah. They literally like they said, pick one, you
Yeah.
only get one.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was thinking like maybe she picks the one that's not as sick so that way they can help. And then she was like, no, this is my child, my children,
Yeah.
no. And she's like, I'm taking down this whole ship. Like, you ain't taking one of my babies, we're all going down. And she woke up and like, so then my mother had ended up coming to me with the same dream experience.
Uh-huh. Wow.
But her babies weren't the same as what my sister had described hers to be, but they were still alien
Mhm.
in form. And I don't remember all the details, but she was telling me that it was connected to something in the past, that
Mhm.
she believes, she was bringing up the fact that there was a lot of people that would talk to her about having babies, like you should make babies for other people and stuff like that.
Wow.
And to have this dream and to have these things happening to us and us not being in communication about these stories, like literally the communication of the stories ended up coming to me
Mhm.
because they wanted help about understanding it.
Right.
Because when it comes to the realm of like aliens and stuff, that's not necessarily something that they are big into as they are with the craft.
Mhm.
It's like it's a different realm, and it's something
Yes.
that I have naturally slowly worked into during
Mhm.
my practice.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry to like whatever kids might be out there that I don't know about, but luckily I talked to my boyfriend. I'm like, I know that you don't believe, but let's just say
Let's just
if
say.
I have some alien babies out there, will you be upset? He's like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Okay, then
Because,
we're cool. Like,
yeah, I've had literal dreams of having children. Like,
wow.
I know for a fact I've had a dream where I had a son, and then I have another dream where I had a daughter. But I know for a fact that this daughter, like in the dream, this is what was expressed to me, is that the daughter was from me and Byron.
Mhm.
And like it was like intentional, like intentionally done. And then I was in the old house that I have this weird attachment to, and I was sitting there holding my baby and like smelling her. And I could hear people arguing in the room in my parents' master bedroom. I could hear them arguing.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I don't know what the frick they're mad about, but I knew it had something to do with our baby.
Uh-huh.
But my son came from like it sounds so stupid, like forgive me, but like
No,
the dream was, it literally opened like with me and Nick Jonas, okay, from the motherfucking Jonas Brothers.
I freaking love Nick Jonas,
I
okay?
know, I know, I love him too, but like you know, that just makes me sound crazier, like of course you would want one with him, you know, type of vibe.
No,
But
I would dream about him all the time, girl, okay? Like,
it was different. I could feel everything. Like I felt his skin. He was next to me, sitting over me while I was holding our son, and he was looking at our son. I
wow.
was young at this time.
Yeah.
I was a teen, so my understanding of that was my siblings, you know, like them being that small and stuff. I didn't see them like, I wasn't like, yeah, it came out of me. But
Yeah,
this
I could feel
connection I had with my child was so intense that when I woke up, I tried to look for them in the blankets and I cried because I couldn't find them. And I'm like, I haven't had a kid. Why do I feel this way? And I was just crying and I was trying to find them. And
uh-huh.
I'm like, you're done. Like, you're too young for kids. You couldn't afford the child anyway. So just be happy. It didn't happen.
Yeah, that's crazy though. But like, I think that I've had a couple of dreams too of alien dreams, but I don't know if it's. I feel like maybe I astral traveled and I wasn't supposed to be there. Like, you know,
Yeah.
'cause have you ever had that where you astral travel somewhere, you get to somewhere, and you just have this feeling like, crap, I'm not supposed to be here, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, I think I did that because in I could definitely sense that it was a different type of universe, but it kind of looked like ours, but not really. There was some similarities, but a lot of differences as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it wasn't obviously Earth, right? Or our
Mm-hmm.
universe, like, probably in general. So where I was it looked like it was a house, you know, like, you know, pretty normal looking house, but everything on the outside was really different. That's where
Mm-hmm.
the energies kind of didn't match, you know?
Yeah.
So I was in this house and then I remember I was hiding like behind like a seat, like a couch or whatever. I was hiding behind it.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of like fully like was very, I don't want to say woke up, but that's when I was fully conscious of what
Mm-hmm.
was going on, right?
Yeah.
So I was hiding behind this couch, and I just see like these figures coming out from the outside, like into the home. And I think it was like maybe two figures is what I saw. And like from what I saw, they did look like they could have been like alien type of, because I mean, obviously, we really don't know what they look like. We can only imagine what they look like, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective, they for dang sure look like they could have been alien, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people, right? But
Yes.
they did look like people though. Like it was just because it looked like the human body, but on the outside is what was everything was different, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm there looking, and I'm just, again, I'm hiding because I fully am aware that I am not supposed to be here. I don't know how I ended up there, but sometimes that happens, you know?
Mhm.
So then I see them just kind of like, I think that they were like writing something down. Um, and they were just, I don't know if they were doing research or like their homework, I don't know, but they were like writing stuff down on like this little clipboard, like paper thing, right? And of course they were talking to each other, and things like that. I couldn't make out what they were saying because I was so scared that I was gonna get caught, so I wasn't like paying attention. And then as soon as they go to the other room, I try to quietly like run out of the house. So I find myself outside, and I just remember seeing, like I said, I mean, the outside, I couldn't even describe it because of how different it looks from actual earth, like when you're outside, right?
Yes.
Yes, there's still trees and there's still like, these things, but it just, again, I can't even explain everything that I saw. And then I guess, subconsciously threw myself back over here, like,
Yeah.
when I woke up, I still had the fear of being caught, you know?
Yeah.
I was just kind of like I had to bring myself back to reality a little bit, like just sitting there on my bed. And even my husband, he was already awake. And normally my husband is like, he also, he goes through sleep paralysis. And while he's in sleep paralysis, he astral projects as well. So half the time when I wake up, he's like in a state to where he's just like I have to like wake him up, you know?
Yeah.
So even he was awake, and he kind of looked at me like, are you okay?" Like, and I'm just like, he's the only thing that kind of like hearing his voice kind of like snapped me back, right?
Mhm.
So I was just like, I just had this really weird, I don't think it was a dream. I think I actually astral traveled to a place that I wasn't supposed to be, and then I just like came back. And he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I think I do that all the time too." Like, just like real cool, like nonchalant, right?
Yeah, it's just a thing,
And then
break into places every now and then in
yeah,
the spirit realm.
I told him about the aliens, so of course we start joking that about the alien babies that I have, and I don't know what. I was just kind of like, I don't know what the purpose of that was, but there you go.
And something I forgot to mention is during this time, I was experiencing like a lot of like stuff. It was one of those like peak moments in my life where I was getting a lot of things coming through.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had started sleepwalking. I
Oh wow.
had never, to my knowledge, sleepwalked before.
Uh-huh.
And I when I had that dream during that entire month or like the couple weeks within the time I had that dream, I was sleepwalking because I remember I would be sleeping on the floor or something like that. Next thing you know, I'm sitting, sounds awful, on my knees
Uh-huh.
in front of a clock.
Wow.
I
Mhm.
like open my eyes and I'm literally sitting on my knees in front of a clock. And I'm like, what the frick is this? So the
You're
next
like, "This is
time,
me," like,
yeah. And then what made it super bad that I had to like talk to my mom about it was the next time that I did it, I was standing in front of the front door.
Mhm.
I was still in the apartment, but I
Yeah,
was standing in front of the door,
yeah,
meaning what if I just
like,
left,
yeah, yeah,
like what the crap would I do? But since since then and those experiences and since we left that place, I haven't had those sleepwalking experiences
mhm,
ever again. And my mom was made aware of it and stuff, and she would keep her eye open, but she she felt like that because of the circumstances surrounding it, I would have had it pass.
yeah,
And as long as I was safe and didn't end up outside of the house, I should be fine.
yeah,
And then it didn't seem to happen consistently after that. I just had like maybe uh, two times when it was serious,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that was it.
yeah.
And then that dream happened.
Thankfully, I don't think I've ever sleepwalked. I know that I've sleep talked before, but
Hmm.
not sleepwalk. Well, that's crazy. Oh my God, it's already been an hour and 30 minutes.
That's not too bad. I really thought it was going to take us 2 hours to do these pumpkins because I'm like, I'm just going to screw it up. It's going to happen.
That's why I was like, okay, maybe if I get a smaller one, it won't take up as much time. Like,
I think that the size is nice. Oh, shoot. Oh, and I'm working on I have your daughter's necklace ready, but I was also going to make you one
oh,
with when I did the Wolfpack necklaces, no one bought them. So
you know what's funny is that when you did them, I wanted it so badly. So that's so funny that you said.
well, you have one, and it's
Yeah.
an original.
Oh my God, you see the timing and everything. I just love it when things come like full circle. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you your oils. I've just been having them
Okay.
sit on the altar, like charging the energy, you know, before I send them out. So hold on, let me show you. Oh, gotta get up.
Oh,
Okay.
where's my phone?
So I don't have the labels on them yet because, you know, like I said, I still had them just sitting there charging just a little while longer. So this one is the 8 of Cups one.
Ooh. Oh yeah,
This one,
I remember when I saw it in the video too. I
yes.
love your bottle though. Well, it's
Oh yes,
my bottle now.
yes. Your bottle now. They come with a little. I don't want to like open it just because you know the
Yeah.
intentions and everything. But it comes with the dropper, and they are 2 ounces. So I love how like they're you can get a lot of use out of these. They are fragrance free for right now. Um, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to put any fragrance in them or not just yet. So for right now, they are fragrance free. Maybe in the future I will do some with fragrance because I know some people like the fragrance and then other people don't. So I kind of wanted to have like a mixture of either or, you
Yes.
know. But since for these are mainly for spell work, I was like, I don't think they really need a fragrance. So these are fragrance free for right now. So again, this one is for cleansing, protection, and also banishing as well. Because you know, the 8 of Cups. That's what for me. That's what it represents. You know, like leaving things in the past,
Yep.
walking away from them, leaving them there, and then of course protection as well from anything that may want to come back from the past too. You know. This one is the King of Cups one. So pretty. Oh, I love the cinnamon in there. It looks so pretty. I just love cinnamon in general. So the King of Cups one is to help control emotions, especially, you know, if you're very empathetic. I think this one is really, really good for controlling emotions, especially when because, you know, as empaths, we're going to have those days, you know,
Absolutely.
as much as empowered we are and as much as awareness we are, we still have those days to where, you know, we kind of lose control. So this is what that is for. It's also good for controlling manipulation as well. So if you feel like anybody is trying to manipulate you in any type of way, use this as far as that intention goes, and it will bring the manipulation like to awareness. You know.
Literally, when you were talking about your oils while I was watching your video, I immediately started getting visuals of a bunch of rituals and stuff I was going to do with it. So I think when I actually receive them, I'll create like a video that has like a couple of different little things that you can do with the oils that you sent me. So I
I
already got
would
it
love
like popping up in here.
I would love that because I mean, for myself too, like, I mean, I have a lot of things too that I have planned, but because I have so much planned, it's hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going to do this one first. Like, you know?
I know, I totally understand where you're coming from. And I've kind of like gotten to a point where there's some things that I do need help with, and that's kind of like editing and things like that. But so far I've been offering like apprenticeships to people, and it just seems like that life right now is very chaotic for everybody. So it's difficult to get them here in order for me to work with them to do more, you know? So like if we
Sure.
ever do meet anytime soon, we could make it a point to try to work on some of those things. And
Yes.
that's kind of like what I do want to do when I meet you is like work with you on your spiritual use of your botanicals, and I can also do some light work with you, and we could probably record it, put it out there, and we can learn together as well.
I would love that because, like I said, I don't have anybody to do this stuff with. Like, I'm all by
Yeah.
myself here. Like, I don't have any friends, my family. Like, I'm literally all by myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
would love that. Look, maybe I can make it a point, maybe for my next birthday, which is in March.
Hmm.
My next birthday is in March. Maybe I can make it a point to go over there because my husband right now, he's starting up his business.
Hmm.
So hopefully by March, by my next birthday, it's also his birthday too. So maybe we can make it like a little traveling like birthday party.
Oh
Also,
my
because we
gosh, this is
yeah,
Vegas, okay? It would be the place people go to party. So,
exactly.
welcome.
Not only that, but we haven't got to go on our honeymoon. Like, we've already been married like what, 3 years,
I am born and raised here. We've done all the jobs. We can show you all the best parts of Vegas.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to plan something. Like I said, hopefully March, around the end of March, because my birthday is the 22nd. His is this March 7th. So
Hmm.
maybe we can plan going there around that time because I think that would be the perfect timing, and it gives us time to save.
How do you feel about pew pews?
Uh, Girl, that's how we met. My husband and I.
Yes.
We worked at a gun range together. That's how we met.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. My boyfriend is gonna love him.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, we're
We
gonna
can
have way too much fun.
we can do all that.
I'm careful what I say, especially because like I'm on your channel, so I don't want to cut into your stuff because of something I said that YouTube didn't like.
I don't even know YouTube rules like that, to be honest. So
Oh, oh no, they send me emails and they talk about it, and I'm just like, oh wow, yay! Give me a
that's
list of stuff I can do.
yeah, like it
Then
changes so much, and I'm just like, and then TikTok too. Like when was it? Last month, I kept getting banned off of my own freaking live streams, and I knew I wasn't do anything like against the guidelines because I all I do is read cards,
yes, yeah,
I wasn't
okay,
doing anything, but it was people that were reporting me. That's why. So like,
that's so
oh,
dumb. Okay, forgive me. Ah, it made me so mad.
I was
I,
upset. Yeah.
I want to ask your opinion on Snapchat because I've recently had them reach out to me
Hmm.
to possibly work on something. I honestly think it's just an ad representative that's trying to probably help me get ads
Uh-huh.
on Snapchat, even though I don't use it. Like, I only use it to play with the filters and then like see what my friends are up to. Like, it's not my main thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I haven't necessarily heard the best things about some of the stuff, but like, how do you feel about Snapchat overall and the fact that they're doing like reality shows on Snapchat? Like, is that something you think people are interested in or that you like?
I think so because sometimes I do go on my Snapchat, like, especially when I don't have anything to watch, or especially when I'm just kind of like, I scroll through social media all the time.
Yeah.
And I do use Snapchat, to market, what I'm doing, like to say, hey, I'm going to go live in a little bit, or hey, like I have personal readings. Like, so I do use Snapchat more so for marketing, I think. So I think that if that's what you're wanting to do more like, marketing and things like that, I think that would be really good because I mean, like I said, I don't know how popular or what Snapchat's numbers are,
Yeah.
but um, I mean, I still use it.
Yeah, I still have the app and there's just so many like fun things you can play with on there. But
Yeah.
I this is what kind of got me is I decided to try to just pretend to use Snapchat like somebody who might use it every day, also checking out some of their like shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I could barely make it through a sentence without there being an ad on it.
That's the only thing. Yeah. It's like the ads are like they're like mid conversation or something, and then it's like, wait, what? Like,
And
did I
it's a
skip
long
that?
ad. It's an ad longer than their sentence. And I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me. So it makes it very difficult for me to possibly want to work with them if that's just all they're going to do. It makes it to where that's on me too, because I decided to work with you and you're freaking bombarding people with ads and they can barely get a sentence in of what we are saying.
Huh.
So I didn't call them back.
Take
But
that as a sign.
I didn't, but I'm probably going to just I don't know. It's one of those things like I feel like I need to do more research and
Yeah.
also talk to the community more to find out if it's even something they care about
Yeah. Yeah.
because it
Sure.
just I care about my stuff a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't want something like that because they just want to make a butt ton of money with this excessive amount of ads to roll over all over my viewers and supporters and followers. Like it just doesn't. Mm-mm.
Well, maybe you just think on it a little bit, and then once you feel like that intuition feeling, then go with it, whatever it tells you, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna communicate with them in more detail and ask more questions because the they called me, they sent me email, but then the email seemed extremely generic and it did not provide any additional information letting me know specifically what they wanted to talk about. And
Yeah.
personally, with how long I've been working in entertainment and everything that I do,
Mhm.
it seemed a little unprofessional. I
Mhm.
really feel like the layout would have been more detailed as
Right.
to what we might be talking about because I informed her that the reason why we will not speak at that time was because I wanted to get my team together to be able to listen in on the conversation.
Right.
But I literally don't have anything to talk to my team about.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't have any information other than this. Like,
Yeah, so I'm like, all I have to talk to them about is this research I've done, and it makes me feel funny.
yeah,
And I don't necessarily like what I'm finding out, so I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, like I said, take a couple of days to just reflect on it a little more, and I'm pretty sure you'll get your answer. You usually do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been in my head a lot, but that's why I wanted to take the opportunity, like, while talking to you to see, like, how you feel about it because you have done very well on multiple platforms. So you're like the best person for me to ask currently.
Yeah, I did get an offer to work with a psychic, I guess, app.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I did turn that down just because I wanted to be in control of my
Yes.
what I do,
Not
and
only
I
that, yeah.
no, yeah, but not only that too, but like I hate the idea of having people pay per minute or like per like the time. I don't charge timing. I charge with certain readings that they want. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. And that was
And
what I was gonna bring up was the minute thing.
yeah, the minute thing, like, I didn't feel comfortable doing that, and I was like, "Yeah, it would probably get me a little bit more exposed, but I can do that on my own work." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just staying consistent and just staying, like, true to what I do, like, everything will
Yes.
come in time, you know? So
Yep.
that's why I was kinda like, "No." So I did turn that down, but
Absolutely. I totally 100% agree with you. I had gotten similar offers,
mhm,
and I had received an offer like that in the beginning,
mhm,
and it was with someone I do work with. So it made more sense to me. But then once I started sitting back and observing everyone else that was on the platform, I started to notice it's almost like they fight.
mm,
Like on the platform, it started turning into like fighting. They would be doing these live streams for these readings, and then like you hear all these like comments of
mm,
like, you know, basically they're letting the audience know like F you, you're not freaking paying me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like why would we? Because you got this bad energy, like you're literally there for money. And then that's
yeah,
what I started to notice on the platform that I was looking at, is
mhm,
that everyone was just there for money.
mhm,
And I understand where they're coming from because literally there's been some people that I have tried to be nice with, and I've tried to literally give them something for free, and then they instantly freaking think it means now I can take advantage of you, I can blow up your phone, I can make your life miserable
mm,
because you just talked to me for a hot second and gave me what I wanted. You're always going to give me what I want. And
exactly.
that's where charging can make it to where they're not as eager to
Yeah,
freaking harass you.
yeah,
But I don't want to get into that greedy like rat race thing where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like make sure that I'm making this much money because I need it. And you
mhm.
get stuck in this little cycle, and it's gross.
I do my best now to balance the free readings from the paid ones. And normally I would have them both in one, but I think now that my platform, especially on TikTok, is getting a little bit better, I
Hmm.
can separate the free reading live streams to the paid reading live streams. I can do them separately now instead of doing them both in one. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's what I did this last weekend. On the paid reading live stream went just as well as if it did if it was still free, like both of them together. So that gave me the okay to be like, okay, like maybe like twice a week, I can be like, all right, free readings for an hour. Like, let's do this, right?
Yes.
And then the rest of the week, all right, okay, guys, they're paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think
Yeah,
I have some sort of balance to where they know that I'm trying to like do my best to like give back at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
And but for like currently with you though, like this is your job. You
Yeah.
know, like this is what you do to make a living. Everything
Yeah.
that you do when it comes to your channel, your TikTok, it all has to do with you doing readings. So you
Right.
have a legitimate business going on here and you
Mhm.
need to operate it as such.
Yes.
And you do it very well.
Oh,
And
thank
like you're doing it so well because
you. Appreciate
it's
it.
very inspiring to me, but I think I've kind of gotten to the point to where that there's someone good like you out there. I'm just like, freaking go over there. She's got it going on.
No,
I'll
that's
work on something else.
where I love because the thing is, like, yes, even though there's multitudes of people now doing readings, everybody is different and everybody
Exactly.
has their 2 cents. Everybody has different gifts that they can
Yes.
incorporate into the readings too, you know, like, so that's where I try to tell people to, like, you know, yes, you can go to more than one psychic, but don't be going to 10 different psychics, like, because that's
You're
where
gonna start hearing what you want.
exactly, yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to make sure that the person you're going to, the energy, because it's also about energy exchange. And
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like the energy is there, well, then go for it. But not a lot of the times, and I tell my people too, a lot of the times, sometimes I don't click with you. You're not going to click with me. That's totally fine. But then maybe 6 months down later, you realize, oh, okay, now our energy is on the same kind of wavelength, and now I can
Yeah.
possibly try this, right? And I definitely believe that that's what it's about too. I've turned down people a lot of time just because my intuition in itself is telling me like don't work with this person. So I've turned down people too. A lot of people are like, "What? You turn down people?" I'm like, "Yes, like that's why I wanted to be in control of like
Absolutely.
so that I can do that, you know?"
And it's crazy because like you are literally operating your business like as an
Yes.
artist in a sense because my friends I told you about, they do hair and they do nails.
Mhm.
And there was a position that they were in where they just took whatever was coming to them. But
Yeah.
then it started turning into it's time to start breaking up with clients
Yes.
because they're not respecting you. And then the fact of the matter is like they will pay for extra schooling to get updated on like new techniques in hair
Mhm.
and be able to work with things that makes your hair better and make
Yeah.
it to where it'll stay in great condition longer. And when they come through and they're like, hey, it's going to be an additional like $20 or something, or I have to up my prices because I freaking went to school and I
Right.
learned how to make your hair better.
Yeah,
But
you're not
then they'll be like, no, no. So then you have to break up with them. And then you got that going on.
with them. The good thing as an Aries is that I'm adaptable to change, so I can definitely be okay. But at the same time, you know, and then too, I have a lot of people that have stayed with me since the very beginning, since I started, and I still have the same people. And then, yeah, there's other people who have come and go, but I have to learn that for myself too, you know, be like, okay, I have to learn when to tie the knot. And sometimes I tell my clients too, like, you know, especially when they come to me with the same type of reading every session, or when they ask me the same questions every session, especially about the same person, like over and over again.
Yes.
That's when I'm like, okay, look, like, you know, I know you just went through a breakup. I don't want to have to do the same thing, but for your own mental health, that's what I got to do. Like, you know?
Yes, and that's so freaking responsible. Like that's awesome. It's true because you literally have some individuals that you literally okay, this is the best way I can explain it. You can have a cheater
Mhm.
come to you for readings asking if their husband or wife is cheating on them. And they'll ask you like every week. And
Yeah.
it's like you're like this because you're the cheater, my
Yeah.
dude. So like do us both a favor and chill and just go home, maybe get some therapy or like get real with yourself.
Yeah.
And these insecurities are coming from your own infidelities, you know what I mean? And
And I
it happens.
too, where my clients break up with me because I'm constantly tell them you need to seek help. You need to make sure that you're going to a counselor or therapist. I make sure I say that because I tell them, I'm like, look, I'm a psychic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a therapist. I can give you advice, but I am not, in the position to help you like the way that you need help. So you need to go literally seek a professional at helping you heal. Like, yes, I have that ability, but again, that's a whole nother session. Like,
Yes.
like that's
Yes,
a
yes.
whole other session. And then
Yeah.
they kind of be like, oh, like, so they get annoyed. And then of course, but like, again, like I do my best and um, I try to find the balance, because
Yes.
I'm a big believer in balance and keeping the balance like equal. Yeah, I'm gonna have my days, everybody does,
Mm-hmm.
but again, finding that energies and then making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but at the same time still being who I am. That's where I do my best to stick with that.
Yeah, and that's really good. And I I love talking about magic and stuff with you. It's always a blast. I don't get to talk about it much, and even here I have to be a little bit like because it
That's
starts sounding crazy.
That's why the next step is for me to go visit you on my next birthday. Hopefully, we can make it to where it's like 5 days, maybe that we can go. I don't want to go just for like a couple days, like
Hmm.
I want to make sure that there's enough time and that we can plan things accordingly, things of that nature. So, like I said, hopefully for my next birthday, which is March 22nd, anywhere
Hmm.
around there, we can definitely plan something. Because, like I said, hopefully by then my husband's business will be up and running, and we'll have like a. Obviously, with my income is good, but when there's two people's income, it's a lot better.
Of course, and it makes it to where you can like actually take more time for yourself and
Yeah,
like unwind from working so hard,
yeah,
especially if you guys have your house coming.
yeah. I know. Hopefully soon we will see. But I don't want to keep you any more time because it's been almost 2 hours. Oh my god.
Hey, it's actually like that beautiful time, you know what I mean? We got a solid, nice 2 hours. It's not like
Hmm.
2 and 20 minutes. Who knows? Whatever.
Like 5 hours, which I have done before.
Oh, that is so awesome. Did you see the leak for streamers and how much money they make?
What? No.
Oh, yes. Like millions, billions. Oh my goodness, these streamers are killing the game. They're doing so good.
They really are. So hopefully we'll get there soon enough. But thank you so much. I had so much fun. Honestly, this is probably one of the funnest collabs that I have done in a long time.
Oh, thank you so much. This is probably the first time in a hot second again since I've been seen on the internet like this. So you're always the one pulling me out of my hole.
I am just contributing to what you have contributed to me in the first place. So it's good that I can at least do some type of inspiration back.
That's how I feel about like you and Noah and other individuals that I've worked with online. Oh, and Dragon Feather.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
so watch her too.
yeah, like it seems like we always give each other a helping hand, and I think that's
We
awesome.
have to do a collab too, maybe with all of us together. That would be so much
Ah,
fun.
that
I
would
talk
be
to
so
Phil
fun.
every now and then, but I know he's super busy with school and everything, so I don't want to like bug him.
I also want to talk to Cosmic Crow too. Like, I feel like we vibe so hard. There's some stuff that she's into that I'm into, and what was it? Oh, she's playing Animal Crossing. And
Ooh.
my friend bought me Animal Crossing so we can spend time with each other in the game world. And I'm broke in that world. All the animals have a house and I have a tent, and I'm the only one working there. I'm confused.
It's funny how you can be broke even in a freaking game. Like,
I'm like, thank you for making me feel terrible. Like I can't even have this secret world over here. You guys be having me in a tent.
I can't even
But
escape. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm not inviting my friends over so they could see everyone with their houses, and I got the tent still. Some bull crap. That raccoon is screwing me over. I know he is.
also too, maybe we can plan. I've been wanting to do a meet and greet like for a longest time, but I know that's so hard because everybody's schedules is just so like so ridiculously crazy. But like Noah, he doesn't live too far from me. Like I think he's also in Texas too, right?
I
Still?
think so, yeah.
Oh wait, no, he just moved back to California. That's true.
Really? Oh,
He
so
just moved
he's like just over there for me. He's right there.
Yeah. We're all like, I'm down here, he's over there, and then you're over here. Like,
See, we need to add each other on Snapchat. We can see our little bodies. Be like, hi.
We are. Well, thank you. I will definitely keep you updated, and I'll hopefully start to look up, time schedules and things like that. Maybe, like I said, we can plan something because
Hmm.
honestly, that would be so much fun. Because, like I said, I don't get to do this with anybody like in person. I don't have my person, so that would be so much fun. And I think it would be a really good thing to, like, again, just to help both of us, just
Yeah,
increase something. We both bring different things to the table, so
exactly. Because we come from different backgrounds and we all practice differently in our own way. And I
yeah.
think that it's awesome. We can like bounce ideas off of each other and connect. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
just share, like, that's always fun too.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you're gonna probably end up leaving with a bunch of stuff because as soon as like someone comes in my space that I'm like super eager to show things to, it's like, you can take this, you can have that. I'm gonna make you this. There you go.
Well, I'll make sure to pack a whole nother luggage just for stuff.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you, girl. Again, we're gonna have to plan something soon. I'll keep you updated. You keep me updated, and we'll keep this going.
All right, sounds awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me, and thank you for having me on your channel again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys enjoyed, our pumpkins. We can show
Oh yeah.
one last show of our beautiful, beautiful pumpkins. They look so cute. Oh my god. I love how they're both like small sized.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, I guess we will see you guys next time. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night/weekend. And please stay safe. All right. Bye bye.
Yes, please. Bye.